In this video, we're going to be talking about the importance of not allowing life experiences to harden us and close us off. What we want to do is we want to keep that heart space open and expansive. This is not going to be heavy. The visualization that Spirit gave me to explain this involved marshmallows, campfires and s'mores. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hi and welcome to Oaklaw Door. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you. If you're not yet a subscriber, hit that button. It allows more people to have this type of information that will be helpful to them in front of them, and also it shows a bit of reciprocity because obviously making these videos takes time and energy. So without further ado, keeping the heart space open as we go through life, as we go through life's lessons, life's challenges, as we go through shitty relationships, divorces, mind effery, for want of a better word. You know, we can call it what it is. We can focus on it in a negative way, or we can laugh as I just did. Is it laughable? Matters? No. When we're going through it, it is like trudging tar. We wonder why and what is it all for, and how can people be so cruel, or how can people be whatever the circumstances were, but they are just lessons to help us see ourselves better, to see ourselves in a more authentic way. It's whether we're choosing to look at those lessons, whether we're choosing to repeat the cycles. And I say that because for those of you that don't know me, I've been married 3 times. Woo! And you know, I could sit there and go, oh no, I've been married 3 times. And there is a lot of hang-ups with that. I know I've got friends that are like, oh no, I wouldn't marry again. Oh, what will people think? Well, who gives a damn what people think? So you've done it. And the other thing is when you say something like that, people think that you've taken marriage very glibly. No, you haven't, or the majority of the time you haven't. Unless that's a program that you're running, that's something that you need to heal within you, and you just like the wedding rather than the marriage. But sometimes there are people like myself that are seeking a love, and only to realize that what they've been seeking from others is what they needed to give themselves. And that has been the biggest part of my journey, and that is why I do these videos. That is why I do the coaching that I do the healing that I do, so I can share my experiences to help people that are going through similar experiences, or can identify with it and think, oh, I like that bit resonates, oh, I like that bit. We are all here to ascend, to grow. This is just a big playing ground. I always call it campus. Our 3D physical existence is a learning experience, and we can, when we look at it like that, we can really start to embrace it, start to enjoy it. Because yeah, okay, there are challenges, there are bumps in the road, there are heartaches and loss and grieving, and it's interesting because this whole marshmallow analogy that I was given by my spirit team this morning came because when I was out walking this morning, one, it was overcast and we've had some beautiful days, and I got up especially early this morning so that I could get out whilst there was nobody else around. I am a hermit. I love being in nature, and I love being on my own, and because I'm never on my own. When I am physically on my own, it means that I can attune to spirit, I can attune to the land, I can attune, and so I'm not alone. I feel closer than ever to the reality of my life. And so I wanted to get out early, and yet when I got up it was overcast, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, no, it's going to be okay, it's going to be fine, just stick a cardi on, get out there. And I went on the most beautiful walk, and then when I went up to the top fields where I used to walk my dog that passed in November, he was with me, he was by my side, and it was absolutely beautiful, and he was free to run the fields. And I started to get emotional, and that got me to thinking how we process grief, how we process our emotions. And I was there walking and I was blubbering, but I was blubbering from a place of joy because that dog offered me such unconditional love, and he was with me through the majority of the hardest times of my life. He was my grounding anchor, he was my stable diet, and my tears were a rejoicing, a gratitude of that. And very often in this 3D world we can feel those emotions and we can start to grieve, and then we allow ourselves to go into the loss, the poor me. And it is about mindset, because it's at choosing. Do we choose to see that grief and experience that grief and allow ourselves to express that grief with gratitude for the person or the animal in this case, or that situation, from a place of gratitude, from a place of learning, from a place of, oh wow, that was such a monumental time in my life. You were such a monumental person or a monumental creature in my life. As I said, he was my grounding force. Or do we go into, I miss you, which we do anyway, but if only you were, if only, and things that we can't change, we take our mind. And it's interesting because culture, I don't know about all cultures, I know very much the European culture and the English culture is very much about, it's very negative based, it's very if only based rather than wow based. If only they were still here, instead of wow, wasn't I so privileged for them to have been in my life? And it really is that mindset. And it's the same with challenges and journeys through our life. Oh, this happened to me, my first marriage. My first marriage was, my childhood sweetheart had an affair when I was pregnant, and I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get past the betrayal, and I hung on to the anger, I hung on to the righteousness of that for way too long, which is how I ended up with husband number two 13 years later, and that fell as well because I hadn't learnt the lesson. I hadn't learnt what I needed to learn. And there were a few things in there. One of them was that self-righteousness, the holier than thou. I am quite a I am quite a straight-laced person, but it's that allowing the differences to come through. And that again, that takes us back to the analogy with the s'mores, the marshmallows. The other aspect of it was I wasn't showing myself the love that I needed to show myself. People can only love us as much as we love ourselves. And that is so profound when we actually start to take that on board. That is when we stop the, you did this and you did that. And we start going, okay, the common denominator here is me. What's going on? How can I change this? What do I need to bring into my life so that I can have the experiences that I deserve? And deserve goes hand in hand with that self-love, because if we're not loving ourselves, then we very often feel that we don't deserve things. We all want them. We will all sit there and go blue in the face, swearing that no, we don't deserve all that X, Y, and Z that so-and-so did to us. But we're not actually saying what we do deserve. We're not actually showing other people and showing the universe that actually, yeah, that's an old timeline. We've learned, and now we're going up to here, and actually we deserve this. And these are the people these are the only people that we want in our lives. We are actually expressing that. We understand it. We know it for ourselves. We feel it within our bodies. And the marshmallow analogy, 10 minutes in, but the marshmallow analogy, well, what they were actually showing me was the marshmallow, and it was perfect for me because, as I said, I am quite straight, and I am quite, even though I'm a Scorpion and I do have a sting, so other people that, people that have experienced that sting when I was in much lower vibrating energies will go, she's not very sweet at all. But there is a sweetness, there is a level of naivety there, and I like that about myself, and I have I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to harden up. I've been told all my life, oh, you're too sensitive, or you need to toughen up. No, I'm not going to do any of that. I want to stay that soft marshmallow, that sweetness, that softness, that openness, that expansiveness. This is what we need. We need to be able to be vulnerable, to show up authentically and vulnerably, to have that true, authentic heart expansion. But what they were showing me was the whole s'mores analogy, when we toast those marshmallows, and we do it to a level, and yeah, it's hot and it burns and it sizzles, but wow, from that getting burnt, we caramelize, we add an extra spicy, crunchy layer of sweetness. So there's a little crust of hardness that we don't take everything personally, and we can start to laugh about the things we can't control. We work through them, obviously, we take responsibility, obviously, but we don't get hung up. They don't stop us, they don't block us from continuing forward on our North Node. It creates a little crunchy, caramelized, spicy layer to the sweetness of who we are. And sometimes, yes, as we're on the journey, as we're learning, we will overdo that a little bit, and we will get burnt, and we will become charred, and that is not very sweet or tasty. And so that we need to peel off. It doesn't take anything away, it just takes one layer off. And like a marshmallow, this is what they were showing me, you can actually take that off and you can start to toast it again. The problem is a lot of us, and society upholds it, says that we need to, if we get burnt, pull away, stay away. Don't go back to that fire. Now, love is fire. Love is passion. Now, it may be a little smouldering, or it may be a blazing inferno. Each of us will be different as to what we're attracted to. But it is fire. It is passion. And so we are going to take ourselves to that fire. Part of the process is to know, to have emotional governance, intelligence over ourselves, to know how crispy, how caramelized we want, and then how to pull back, to have that discernment to pull back. That's the learning process. And I was just like, when Spirit was showing me this morning with s'mores, because first of all I was like, marshmallow, s'mores, what's all that about? And actually when it started unfolding in the visualization and I was walking, I was thinking, wow, that makes so much sense. Now, it makes sense to me, that's why I'm sharing it. You may think, God, this woman's crazy. That's fine, not a problem. Take the bits that resonate, leave what doesn't, and if this video doesn't resonate with you, then it doesn't resonate with you. That's fine, it's not a problem. Don't pull away from the fire just because you got burnt. That getting burnt so that you were burnt, that you were charred, was because you didn't have discernment or control over your emotions, or you didn't have the discernment to pull away. Either way, it rests with you. You're the one that has control over your life. You're the one that has control over your thoughts, your feelings, where you take them, whether you allow a negative experience to continue to be a negative experience and cause a roadblock, so that you just basically start a snowball of negative experiences, because you start the ball rolling. Or you go, that was a negative experience, ooh, that hurt, I got burnt, ooh, let me pull away from the fire. Let me take some time to cool down, to peel off that charred layer so that I can become my soft, squidgy self again and start to have a full expanse of that heart space, so that I feel ready, I feel prepared. I've done the work that is needed to allow me to go back into that fire with discernment, with self-love, with self-respect, with self-worth, with whatever it is that caused you to get burnt in the first place. Whatever you didn't have that made you stay in that fire too long, that crisped you up. It took you past caramelization and it fries you to a crisp. What made you stay there? Pull away. Take that layer off. You're still there. You're still soft. You can still be malleable and permeable and all those yummy, yummy things, but with discernment. Go back into that fire with the discernment, with the knowledge, with the learning. You deserve to be unconditionally loved, and you deserve to give your unconditional love. We all do. Hope that has helped. If you've liked the video, press that like button. If you've not yet subscribed, please press subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one. You take care. Bye.